Quite simple. I live there. So that's how simple it is.
I think people were wondering if maybe there was a political statement there. You've made some statements in the past. Is there any further motivation?
I won't get into that. We'll keep it simple.
Fair enough. Brock, you talked about coming back and your desire for competition. I wonder, how do you measure success here? I mean, does it have to be a victory to feel like you made the right choice and made the right steps here? Or can you go in and be competitive and feel like you accomplished what you want to accomplish?
Yeah, I don't think, obviously I'm here to win a fight, but it's fighting and anything can happen, but I'm prepared for whatever. I don't think it's going to define me. I'm just happy to be here. I really am. It's no bullshit. This is exciting. I'm on the card of UFC 200.
And just lastly for you, Brock, if I could, it's been clear that this is a one-off, but I do wonder, is there any part of you inside that thinks if I go in and I'm successful and I'm right back to where I was when I was champion, then maybe this could launch a little bit of a continued career?
Oh, this may be a teaser. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I have no idea. I never say never, We'll see.
Thanks, Brock. And then just quickly, if I could, I wanted to ask Frankie.
Obviously, you were a top-level wrestler to now where you've actually picked up a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and now you're a blue belt. What do you see as the difference? Where do you see yourself now in your grappling ability compared to back when you finished out your career?
Well, obviously my goal is to be a 5th-degree black belt. To me, jiu-jitsu is fun. It's part of the game. Along with stand-up, you train in all disciplines. So, I mean, it was time for Comprito to, I guess, I never asked for it, nor do I don't really care if I have a belt or not. I guess not to be, to downgrade it or anything. I think it's just, it's a process it's just a label. And for me, it was an honor for Comprito to actually bring it up. And he said it's time for me to issue this to you. So I never thought twice about it.
Obviously, a lot of people know you because you're a great grappler, a great fighter, but obviously Mark's got the advantage in the striking. I'm just curious, did you continue to work on your striking after you finished your career with the UFC and while you were in the WWE? Did you keep training on your abilities? And how long have you been training in the striking, and who have you been training with, and how often would you do it?
Yeah, like when I left the sport, I love the sport, so I didn't want to. It's just been a part of me, so I never really left. I've worked with Pat Barry, Greg Nelson. Whenever it worked out for me to be able to hit mitts or to work on things, absolutely. And it wasn't like I just called all these people up. I've worked with them ever since I left the octagon.
For Daniel and John, appreciate it. Can you give me 2 qualities in each other you guys appreciate?
Yeah, it's going to be, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's been a while since Brock has fought, but, I'm always willing to play punch face with anyone.
Can you explain your health status? When you said you left because you weren't healthy, when did you start to feel better, and did you have any other procedures after you left the UFC and before you came back?
Well, I think it was like day 49 after I left. Like, I can't remember the exact hour. I feel fucking awesome. Why does it matter? I'm here.
Did it affect you at all in your wrestling career? Did you have any issues when you were wrestling before this?
My health is behind me. I'm sitting here at UFC 200 soaking it all in. I don't know. I feel great. It's good to be here. It's good to be back. There's nothing else to say. It's just, I'm here. I feel great. That's it.
Hey, DC, a question for you.
Clearly you're excited to be back here in the UFC, and clearly the fans are excited to have you back. You know the relationship you have with Vince McMahon. If you go to him after a victory and say, hey, I'd like to do this occasionally a couple more times, will he allow you to do that? Can you do that?
I guess that's not a question for me. That's a question for Vince McMahon, right? So I don't know. We'll get through Saturday and see what happens. I have no idea.
Do you plan to do that with a victory? Ask for that.
After Saturday, I think I'm booked for August, so I don't know. We'll get through Saturday. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
Great. Misha, for you, you know...
Your memories of 100?
I got lots of memories, but I guess the one that sticks out the most is solidifying my heavyweight championship, avenging the loss against Frank Mir, being very excited to get my hand raised at the end, and saying some things that are very memorable.
What kind of beer did you drink that night, just for the record? Go ahead.
I actually had 2 different kinds that night. One for the public to see and one for me to enjoy.
And
stop asking him questions.
Both of your thoughts on how much the sport's grown from 100 to 200. 100 felt like such a huge deal, but this is even bigger, just how far it's come in a few years.
Is that for me?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think the credit goes to a lot of the credit goes to the fighters, and I think Dana would agree that without his stable of fighters and his backbone with the Fertittas, this company wouldn't be where it is today, and I think none of you sitting out there can disagree with that. So without the fighters, the UFC would be nothing, and without a promoter like Dana, I mean, it's came a long ways. Obviously, I mean, just look where we're at. We're getting covered by ESPN. We're all over the world now. So I mean, it's pretty plain and simple. I think everybody's done a good job.
For Misha,
moment where you were almost taken aback that you actually made it all the way back here?
Yeah, actually, when I flew in, I've been taking it all in, you know, because in years past, you kind of just, I took it for granted. Not only take it for granted, but I wasn't mentally in the right place. So, yeah, 100%. I'm really happy to walk in and check in. Everything. It boils down to everything. Even flying into Vegas. I've flown into Vegas before and past when I retired, and just had that same feeling of you know, this city's been great to me, and so yeah, 100%.
And then 2 last quick ones. Eddie Alvarez.
All my nutrition and everything on point, and working with a hypnotherapist. So my sports doctor is Dr. Jonathan Edwards. My hypnotherapist is a mental coach, Mark Savard. And that's really the only thing I did different. I feel like physically we all prepare really hard, but you know, what are we doing mentally? Everyone says that the fight is 90% mental, 10% physical. So you know, I just wanted to strengthen a strength of mine, and that's really the only thing that I could say that I did differently. Otherwise, the training was just as good as it always is.
Okay, thanks. Last question for Travis. Travis, do you feel with the win against Velasquez, you're in top spot to challenge for the belt?
Yes, sir. He's, you know, I've said that this is my championship fight. You know, I feel like he's the toughest matchup for me in the division. So yes, I believe I get a shot after this fight.
Okay, thanks.
We'll take one more question.
First for Amanda, Misha's been saying a lot in the lead up to this fight that you mentally break and all that. What would your response to that be?
I think it's not true. I think, let me see. Alex David, can you help me? I don't understand the question. Can you help me, please?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you do it again?
The question was, a pergunta foi se você acha que você quebra mentalmente, que a Misha tem dito que você quebra mentalmente durante